kilalanin muna po natin ang pagpasok ng aking idolo, Senator Jinggoy Estrada.
Sabayan mo itong amendment na ito. This will make you happy.
Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa ating nag-iisang alamat, ang naglalakad na kasaysayan ng Inang Bayang Pilipinas, ang amin pong personal na idolo at tagapagpayo, ang kasalukuyang Chief Presidential Legal Counsel ng Pangulo ng Pilipinas at ang dati pong Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. Isang magandang umaga po sa inyo.
About Mr. Chairman, unang-una, nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo sa anyaya ninyo sa akin na dumalo dito sa napakamahalagang usapin tungkol sa mga pagbabago sa mga ilang portion o parte ng saligang batas natin. Ako po ay dumalo dito, I appear here in my personal capacity. I do not represent the President or the presidency in whatever I say here. Although I sought the permission of the President and told him that Your Honor invited me to come here to participate in this proceeding, very important proceeding, and he agreed. I'm ready to answer all the questions that you have in mind, but I would like to tell you that I think your agenda, your direction is the right thing. I've read some of the drafts and proposals that you want to do and to make as a part of our Constitution. And if I were in this House at this time, I would have supported you 101%, because those are the most important things that must be done to make this country progressive, safe, and modernized. First of all, the economic provisions are antiquated. We do not have the capital to develop the economy of this country to improve the life of a great majority of our people. We can develop this country only if we relax the restrictive provisions, economic provisions of the Constitution. Second, I would like to add to your efforts that we must now remove the restriction imposed by the Corrigan administration on this country and her people not to have any nuclear in the country. I think, in my personal opinion, that is the most serious and unwanted provision of the Constitution. In the modern world today, a small country can protect itself against the superpowers if they have nuclear weapons. We should remove that restriction and make the country flexible. If we can afford it, we should also have nuclear weapons so that our people will not be trampled upon let alone made a tuta or alipin of other countries. We must be sure that we make our people equal, if not better than others. And we need to have an alternative fuel to run our economy, because oil and natural gas are finite things. The supply is dwindling, and those that were lucky enough to have these raw materials abundantly in their country will make it very difficult to be available to those of us who do not have it. And the only alternative fuel that we can have is either we cut all our trees or we use nuclear power plants to run the economy of the country. No country is exempted in this. No country can develop unless you have electricity. That is the blood for any country to develop its economy and to provide the best life for her people. So I would propose that you include in your efforts an amendment to the Constitution, to the 1987 Constitution, and remove the restriction imposed by the Cory government and make our country flexible. If we have the money, we can buy nuclear weapons, just like buying an aircraft or a battleship or a cannon to protect our people. And if we do not have enough fuel to create electricity, then we can buy uranium nuclear rods to run a nuclear plant like Ukraine and provide our people the convenience arising from the use of nuclear power to run our economy. The political provisions, Mr. Chair, can be separated from the economic and other provisions that I've mentioned. That can take time to handle. Second, in the manner of accomplishing the task that you want to do, to accomplish, I would suggest that you follow what you have been suggesting. Let it be done by Congress itself, not as a legislative body, but as a constituent assembly. There is nothing esoteric or unusual in these amendments. If we want to change the form of government, either we can go back to the 1935 Constitution or we just adopt the 1973 Constitution, because the 1935 Constitution is a presidential system. The 1973 Constitution is a parliamentary form of government, which is being used almost by all nations on the planet, with varying differences. There's nothing unusual about that. Both types of government have their own deficiencies, but they're workable if the leaders are true to their faith in serving the country and her people instead of serving themselves. Now, I would caution everyone to be very careful about federalism. I don't think there's anybody in this country that can very well say, I know what a federalized system is. There are so many types. But the English type is the oldest one, and still it is also complicated. I have here a draft of the proposal made by the Puno Commission, and I submitted this material with all my observations to the previous administration, and that is why they became quiet about it. It is expensive, which the economy of this country at this time cannot afford, and complicated because all the emerging proposed states to form a federalized form of government are not equal in God's gift. Some are well blessed, others are less blessed by God. Some are landlocked, some are not unified, their people cannot be united, and it might end up in the breakup of the unity of our country. Now, Mr. Chair, I know that Congress has passed a proposed constitutional convention to do the job that you're doing. I would also caution you in the Senate and in the House, because to do a con instead of a con-ups will be a disservice to the people of this country. It will burden the taxpayers too much. To have a con will entail billions of pesos. To do the work that can be done simply by Congress through a constituent assembly form. You will have to elect the members who may not even know what government is, who may yet become tools of incumbent political powers in the country. And in addition, you will have to pay them salaries, you have to give them a building to do their job, you'll have to support them with the staff, individually and collectively. You have to give them supplies, cars, travel expenses, medical expenses, and so forth and so on, representation expenses, and even maybe intelligence funds. My God, we're not that rich to be throwing away money for a simple amendments of the Constitution. Imagine how many school buildings can be established with the money that a con will require, how many school buildings, how many houses can be built, how many irrigation canals can be added to our productive capacities, how many armored carriers, tanks, and airplanes we can buy out of the money that we will use for a con, which can be done by Congress, the Senate, and the House. Now, there's nothing esoteric with these amendments that the experienced legislators cannot do. That, Mr. Chairman, is my position.
Maraming salamat po, amin pong mahal na idolo ng lahat ng mambabatas. Maraming salamat po.